Hello, hi, and welcome to Illuminate Your Truth. My name is Elena Isis, and I am so happy to have you joining me today. I have a really fun topic to talk about, and it kind of correlates to the season. So it's October, we have Halloween coming up. Those are all really exciting things, but I've learned a lot these past few years about witches and spells, negative entity attachments and curses and psychic attacks. And I really just want to share some of the things that I've learned and that I have discovered. Um, Maybe it can help keep you safe. Maybe it can help you tune into energy a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see, where this takes you. But I just want to share some things that have really changed my perspective about witches, um, hexes, curses, attachments. And I just want to talk a little bit about that today. So thank you for joining me for this conversation. So let's dive on in. All right. So, witches. Witches. So I would categorize myself as a witch. I work in the light. So I'm not like, I don't work the left hand path. I don't work for the dark. I only do light magic, white magic. And I do root work. That's what I do. I definitely follow my roots. I had ancestors that were root workers and did hoodoo, did lots of, African magic, working with the Orishas. I've done a lot of that in my past with like ancestor veneration and just working with magic in general. But I tend to flow more towards the hoodoo vibes and the African magic. So I practice hoodoo and I love doing workings. I ran into black magic because, I tend to walk my light path proudly and loudly. And so whenever you're loud and open about your path, it's really easy for other witches to see you and want to either hurt you with a spell, with a curse, a hex. And I found myself in that predicament. And when you become cursed by a witch, you call that you're crossed. And so I became adept in uncrossing, which is transmuting those negative spells, those dark hexes, curses, spells. And I became adept at uncrossing so I could help myself, so that I could help my clients, so that I could help my family, my friends, if something like that were to happen. Now, a lot of people don't believe in magic, and a lot of people don't believe that you can become cursed, but I've seen it, experienced it, and I know that in my life that has truly happened. And I really do enjoy doing the work of uncrossing and transmuting dark energy. That's my thing. I love it. And I've learned lots of ways of how to do that. So as far as a witch, I would call myself more of a root worker. I do not participate in dark magic, which means I do not put curses on people. And, yeah, I don't intentionally do that in my magical work. If I'm doing types of magic, it's to help improve my life or the lives of others around me. So, just a little brief explanation of what kind of witch I am. If you're curious, that's how I would describe myself. Even though I don't really even call myself a witch, I just am a spiritual person and I connect with the elements around me, what God created, and I use that to put my intentions into and to manifest. And I also work with the healing spirits around me that guide me and help me in my everyday life. So um, it's a different kind of witch. I don't know. Maybe I am a witch, but I don't like to categorize myself as much of anything because I just find that I am a blend of a lot of things. And so I just let that be. But okay, if you wanted to know if I'm a witch of the light or a witch of the dark, I'm a witch of the light. And if you're a witch of the dark, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, we need duality in this world. We have duality in this world, and so You need dark to have light, light to have dark. It gives me something to do. And, I don't know. It's with energy. Yeah, that duality definitely plays a huge role. So I don't consider any one good or bad. It just is magic, and whatever path you choose is the path that you choose. And so let's talk about witches. And so I was talking about events that involve a lot of witches. So that it's Halloween, and so there's lots of things that are going to call to certain witches and people who have the same type of spiritual beliefs. And I found myself going to these events and either getting psychically attacked or getting a entity sent leashed on me. So let me explain the first thing. So a psychic attack, like when you're going to these events, witches are usually a lot, not all of them, but some of them are really adept in energy and working with energy. And so let's just start with the working with energy part. So a lot of witches are adept at working with energies. They can, if they are envious of you or jealous of you and they see you, and remember, if you are a witch of the light, you're going to stand out in a room of dark witches. They're going to notice you instantly. I mean, your energy is going to just tell on you. They're going to know. So what you want to do is you really want to be mindful of that. I noticed that really early on in those types of experiences, and how, I think I want to explain how it felt in my body to know that I was being psychically attacked. You'll feel really nervous all of a sudden. And when somebody is psychic attacking you, they're usually in front of you. They may not be right in front of you, but they're usually facing you or behind you. And you can feel it as a jab in the heart. I've gotten psychically attacked and I felt like a sharp feeling in my heart, like somebody was stabbing my heart energetically. You'll feel really nervous. You'll start fumbling through your things and wondering why you feel so nervous and why you're fumbling, because you were totally just fine a minute ago. You'll feel really tired. Sometimes you'll just start getting sick. You'll physically start getting sick. It can show up a lot of different ways, but psychic attack is real. And if somebody is envious, jealous of you, I always say wear your evil eye. And just protect yourself. Some people visualize mirrors around them. So one in the front, one in the back, or all around you, a big mirror. You can do something like that. You can do anything to send that energy back to the person and let that bounce off. Protection, call on your spirit guides, God, whoever you need to at that moment. But psychic attack, that's what that's going to feel like. A lot of times I was just my mood will instantly change and I'll just be angry. And I'm just this isn't me. What is this? Witches can direct that energy towards you, and a lot of times a little bit stronger because they know what they're doing. They know how to use their energy to get yours. And some witches will take it a step further, and they will actually, okay, so these are seasoned witches. In order for this to occur, you need to be a seasoned witch. So some witches actually roll with a crew of entities, and I call them minions. They're minions, that's what I call them. And they will actually these would have been entities that they would have picked up while being out in the world. Entities can attach to you while you're out and about if they like your energy. Some people want that to happen and they will call those entities to themselves. Sometimes, and a lot of times, we will grow up with entities in us and not know it, and they'll just be with us. And other times, if this is a seasoned witch, she will conjure up entities through her magic and have them with her as a pet. And so I see this in people sometimes, in witches, and what I see is that person, but behind them there is a crew of entities, literally entities, and they think that they have control over them, okay, but they really don't. The entities have control over them, and they have these entities behind them in this crew, and when they're looking at you, talking to you, if they see you and you are of the light, they're going to be they're not saying this out loud. She may look like she's talking to you and having a conversation or just listening to you if you're talking to this person. But in her mind, she is sending one of her entities and sticking it on you. She's like, hey, you go with her. And why would somebody do this? Well, these entities, they are working with them. And these dark entities need energy. And to feed them, they need light. And that person needs light too, because obviously there is a lot of darkness in them. And so what's the best way to do that is to take a little bit of yours. And so they will send out these entities, these attachments into people of the light, and they will attach to you, and they will slowly start to leech your energy. And that energy will not only feed that attachment, but it'll feed that person that sent it. And so they are sending out these entities to different people all over, and getting a little bit of that energy from every little person. And it'll start to show up in the physical world as you feeling uncomfortable. You may be feeling like you're being watched, like especially at night. You'll have to close your windows and stuff and the blinds because you feel like somebody's either watching you. You can even feel like they're watching you inside of your house, just watching you. You'll feel that energy. You will also, this is really a really important thing. You will also run into them a lot. Like if somebody has done this to you, you will be running into them all the time because those entities are not only there with you, just like sucking your energy, they are literally watching you. They are that witch's eyes, and she can actually watch you and stalk you, and you'll actually be running into this person a lot. And you'll be like, why do I keep running into you? And they may even say, are you following me? To project. And if you get the feeling that this may be happening and this is, somebody's doing this to you, then it's probably happening. And yeah, they will use these entities to watch you and to stalk you and to just slowly leech your energy. Not all witches do this. I'm saying really seasoned witches that work of the dark, that have a negative intention and are out here stealing your energy, pretending to be nice to your face. And yeah, just really not bringing good energy to you. So you really have to be careful when you're in these situations. The spiritual community is not 100% safe. I'm just going to tell you that straight out. You may think you're safe, but it's, there are scumbags in every group, like all over the world. It doesn't matter what group you're in. There's always going to be people that are going to try to take advantage of you or someone. So being mindful of that, it's always important to use your discernment. Discernment is everything along your spiritual journey. If you feel uncomfortable, trust that. If somebody's making you feel uncomfortable, trust that. If you feel like somebody doesn't have the best intentions towards you, trust that, because that's probably true. You're probably right. And so when going to these events where there's a lot of witches, use your discernment, of course. I'm not saying don't ever go, but be mindful that you should be having your protection up at all times. It's very important to protect yourself against attacks, psychic attacks. I'm not saying psychic attacks can hurt you, but they slow down, they slow you down because you're feeling just this really low energy. And, we want to be going higher. We want to be vibrating high, staying at positive levels. Of course, whenever we pick up these attachments, these are really transformative times because, whenever bad stuff happens, that's only, something great's coming. I'm not going to jock them. They happen for a reason. And then we really can learn a lot about them. But yeah, they happen for a reason. And however we need to grow as humans, I guess that's what we got to do. But if you're in this situation, and if you feel like you're in this situation, you're not alone. There are definitely things that you can do to free yourself from this. Curses, attachments. I really like to pray. I think prayer is like the most intense type of magic on earth. Prayer, and I really love candle magic. Candle magic to just reverse things, send them back, get rid of them. And I also really like working with the Arcturians. I am always talking about the Arcturians, but I really do think that they want to help us, and they keep stepping forward, wanting to help us as humanity. I don't hear a lot of people talking about them, and it shocks me because they've helped me so much in my work. They want to help us. If you feel like you have a negative entity attachment and you really need to release it, I definitely would suggest calling out to the Arcturians. Setting the intention to connect with one of the Arcturians that are in the light, that want to assist you and become your personal healer. I had an experience a few years ago where my Arcturian healer guide showed up for me in the middle of a healing session that I was doing with a client. And after that, I was like, can you can we be friends? Can you stay? Like, I really think I want you to be a guide for me. And he's one of my main guides. And we've created such a close relationship. I call him in whenever I need attachments removed from myself, from my family, from my friends, from clients. He does this amazing psychic surgery. It's an honor to just be able to watch him work. And, I really feel like they want to be used. And they have a lot of energy and healing abilities that are really helpful for us as human beings and clearing our energy, doing these psychic clearings that are not offered a lot down here. And so, why not take that healing? So call in these Arcturian guides, recruit an Arcturian healer for yourself anytime you feel low or that something might be with you, because along this journey of spiritual development and growth, you are going to run into these things, and you can block them out as much as you want, but a lot of times, you're going to run into it. We live in this dual world of the physical world and the spiritual world, and they're just meshed together, one beautiful little sandwich there. But, you got these two worlds, and you're walking down the street and there's also something walking down the street and you just can't see it. Some people can see it, some people cannot. But for the people who can see it, I really want to bring it to, the awareness of people that these things can affect you. These entities and curses and spells can affect you. And I want you to know that it's not permanent, and you can totally free yourself from these things. Now, from curses, there's a lot of different root work spells that you can do to uncross. But like I said, working with the Arcturians and calling on them and just asking them to release. Also, Archangel Michael, really good at cutting bonds, cutting cords, cutting things, cutting curses, hexes. I would definitely suggest calling him in and just asking him to release. Try to get a visual too, if you like, of what is actually going on. A deep meditation, making this a ritual for yourself, a healing ritual to just release. Take a salt bath. Just do what you have to do to release these energies. Don't feel like it's going to be impossible to do, because it is not impossible, and you have help. So definitely call on your guides, call on the Arcturians if you feel like this is something that you need healing from. But yes, so whenever I'm around a bunch of witches, definitely have my boundaries set in place, and I honestly try to just avoid those situations altogether unless I know a lot of the people that are going to be there. But along this path, you just are going to have to learn the things that you have to do to protect yourself while you're out here, to protect your high vibration, to protect your energy, because that's important. Okay. You are important. Yes. So yeah. So thank you so much for joining me. I am really excited about this new, I'm on video now. This is crazy. I love it though. I only want to grow, and I only want to make this podcast even better. So thanks for tuning in and sticking around. Follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Illuminate Your Truth podcast. Make sure you go follow me, check it out. I'm also on Facebook, Elena Isis Knox. Check me out on there. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. I had an absolute blast. Okay.